this is like the stuff I like about strongman is that it's always different.
Yeah.
You got to get really well all round if you're going to be competitive at this stuff. It's really, really fun. And with static
It looks
monsters,
fun.
it's fun. Like after
I know.
when you reflect on it. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Do you know what though? Like
Upon
it is
reflection.
actually, it really is enjoyable. Like when
Yeah.
I did one, I was like, oh, I would definitely do this again.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
100%. It's so much fun. I really liked the idea of you kind of never knew what you were going to get next. Like powerlifting can sometimes be predictable in that you can go and you can look at everyone's open powerlifting and you can kind of predict a little bit
Yeah.
Yeah.
where everyone is going to fall based off Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas like with strongman or strongwoman, you have no
No
idea.
idea.
Yeah.
Like literally no idea. So it's nice in that sense because it does kind of teach you to be a little bit more level-headed, or at least I think it has taught me to be a little bit more level-headed coming back into powerlifting.
Yeah.
In terms of what? Like what do you mean by like level-headed?
So like I've obviously only competed at regional level so far, and hopefully next year we'll like break into the national scene. But in terms of like regional level, like it's very predictable.
yeah. Yeah.
In that you know where most people are going to place.
Yeah.
Occasionally you'll get a random lifter who you've never seen or heard of before and will come in and just beat everyone. So for me, I kind of, going into each comp, I kind of know roughly where I'm going to place, how the day is going to fare. It's very predictable.
Yeah.
So at national level, like I'm aware, or at international level, it's not always as predictable as it may seem. So for me personally, I'm kind of hoping that will carry over when I do like break into the national scene next year, in that I'm not just relying on open powerlifting or Instagram or
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z to tell me how everyone else's day is going to go. I'm more concerned about my own day
Yeah.
and how I can like make the best out of that, I suppose.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
It's
I think that's a good point. Just like that, like when you turn up for a strongman comp, because the events are always different, it's like you can't really predict how anyone's going to go. So you have to focus on yourself.
Yeah.
I think part of it as well. It's like powerlifters are like notorious. I can't speak to other strength athletes, but powerlifters were notorious at times for like chasing PBs, especially like those that are like intermediate level. And it's good to chase a PB, but sometimes if you're competitive at pushing for a podium, it's sometimes you have to park your ego and you take what's there on the day.
Yeah.
I think it's important. Like when I first started getting into like cup rugby, years ago, when we first started breaking into cup rugby, we were taught like kick between the posts, like take your penalty shots, take your kicks, take the 3 points. Like don't always try and go for a
Don't
try.
for a try, yeah,
So
yeah.
don't. The point on that analogy is just you don't always have to go for the PB and miss the third. Like sometimes you just need to build your total. So just kick for goal, get your points there. And I think that's one of the things you can take from strongman, like you said, is focus on your own performance and don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Don't try and like you have to hit X number of numbers or, going into a comp. It's like just focus on your own. You don't know how anyone else is going to perform.
Yeah.
We've seen that
And
time
like
and time
they're
again.
lined up beside you as well. So like even like kind of you can like kind of count other people's reps, things like that. But like
Yeah. Yeah.
you're better off just playing your
Just
own game.
do
Play
Yeah.
your own
You can.
game. Just play your own game. Worry about yourself. And in strongman, use your full 60 seconds, 90 seconds, whatever you have. But use your
Yeah,
60
definitely
seconds.
don't
and
waste that.
Don't waste it trying to count other people. Just use your 60 seconds. If you have a coach there, you know exactly what number you have to hit because you're lucky enough to come out last. Great, but use your 60 seconds and just focus on your own performance. Don't worry about other people's performance. I think that carries across all sports. You can only control the controllables, and the biggest variable is yourself. So,
Especially with like strongman or strongwoman, you also like
He's delighted with that.
clip that.
you don't have time like to be worrying about what anyone else is doing. Like you had
Yeah.
what, 2 minutes between pulling 310 and 330 or 300 and 330?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was about 90 seconds. I went out. I opened on 270. Then I went straight to 310.
310, yeah.
Chris Harrison had pulled 300, then went to 310. When I saw him get to 310, I called for 330.
What made you make the 20 kg jump there? Just because you knew you had
I
it?
had,
Or?
I had a fourth attempt as well.
Oh, right.
So there was a fourth attempt on the day.
Yeah.
So like it was easy on that bar.
Yeah.
Like to be honest, it was handy enough. That's my big lift. That's what I'm good at. I knew I'd be highly competitive at that lift.
Yeah.
So I in my head, I was like, I seen him pull the 310. I kind of felt like that's what he had. Great guy, by the way, highly competitive guy. It was great to meet you, Chris, if you're listening. So when I seen him do the 310, I was like, okay, I think he might take a pop at 320. So I
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
safer just locking in 330 so I don't have to go
Just
again.
Go out of his range, like
Yeah. So I knew then I went 310, he went 310, he got his 310, and I had to go straight back out again. So I was like, I'm not doing that another time. So
Yeah, okay.
I said I'd
okay,
take
didn't get
330.
that. Yeah.
I'd have liked to have pulled more, but I didn't need to pull more.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, it's a competition. So take what's there on the day, make the most of it, you know, kick for goal, you know, kick between the posts and go from there.